Hare Krishna, Namaste. Chapter 11, entitled as Vishwarupa Dharshana Yoga. Sloka 12. Divi sūrya-sahasrasya bhaved yugapad utthitā yadi sadṛśī syād bhāsas tasya mahātmanaḥ. In the 11th sloka, we learned Devam Anantam Vishvato Mukham. The term Devam. That term is further elaborated in this 12th sloka. Divi, in the sky, Surya, of suns, sahasrasya, of many thousands, bhāḥ, light, effulgence, yugapad, simultaneously, at the same time, utthitā, have arisen, bhaved yadi, if it happens, sa, such splendor, mahātmanaḥ, the great Lord, having the cosmic form, tasya, of him, the omnipresent bhāsas, effulgence, sadṛśī syād, perhaps equal. Translation: if hundreds of thousands of suns were to raise at once into the sky, their radiance might resemble the effulgence of the Supreme Person in that universal form. Let's remember that this is the sloka spoken by Sanjaya in Hastinapur, where he is explaining what Arjuna saw. How was this universal form? It was like millions of suns appear at one time in one place. Well, we know that that will never happen. At a given time, to have hundreds and thousands of suns to raise simultaneously. But if that happens, assuming, then how does that look like? Well, one can't even look, because it's going to be effulgent, and that cannot be simply explained by terms. Therefore, this is just expression to make one understand how great that form is. Here, sahasrasya is not just thousand, it is innumerable, infinite. So, devam means that which is radiant. That is what has been explained over here in this sloka. Extraordinary, effulgent, like millions of suns are rising together at the same time in same place, expressing that nothing can be compared to the effulgence of the Lord. Then if nothing can be compared, then why here that effulgence is compared to thousands and millions of suns? It is just an indicator. It is not a complete description, because the words are inadequate to completely describe the Supreme Lord. These are just a pointer to give some idea of the Supreme Lord. We can see an example where we often hear that Krishna's complexion is like a monsoon cloud. like a bluish black color, our mind immediately think of two things. One is the cloud, another one is blue color, and start defining that Krishna with that particular color. But the truth is, that is just to give us an idea of what complexion Krishna is. Unless and until Krishna reveals, we will not be able to perceive what exactly meant by that bluish black color. Our mind will always try to compare it with the material things, because that's the maximum that we can reach. For us to understand, these indicators are given to us to relate it. But those things are not the ultimate reach of the originality of the Supreme Lord. So when we hear here thousands of suns, effulgence, that is not the reach of the ultimate effulgence of the Lord. It is just to indicate how great He is. How much ever we try to glorify the Supreme Lord, it is actually very limited compared to the greatness of the Lord. The reason is because we are limited with our ability, and the Lord is unlimited with His qualities and opulences. It's like we praise a person saying that you're the landlord of the entire village. You have hundreds and thousands of cows. You have hundreds and thousands of servants. You have hundreds and thousands of houses. One goes on praising the person. In reality, that person is actually an emperor. So, whatever we said so far is like pretty much an insult to the emperor. Even Anantasesh, who has thousands of tongues, still unable to complete the glories of the Lord. One question might come in mind hearing this. That means I cannot glorify the Supreme Lord, or I should stop glorifying the Supreme Lord because it is hard to describe Him anyways. Well, that's not the message here. Rather, to glorify the Lord to the max that we can for our own purification, understanding that we will not be able to completely, eloquently, elaborately glorify the Lord. But still, one does that to please the Lord to the best they could. And that is what has been clearly mentioned in the purport of Srila Prabhupada. What Arjuna saw was indescribable, but still it is an indication to understand how effulgent the Supreme Lord was in that form for Arjuna. In the next verse, it will be explained that how Arjuna beheld the entire universe concentrated in a single spot in the body of the universal form. Also, another point to be noted here in this verse is mahātmanaḥ. The term mahātmanaḥ has been used to the Supreme Lord, because earlier Mahatmas was mentioned for the great jnanis, the great devotees. But over here, the great Lord having the cosmic form is called mentioned as mahātmanaḥ. Divi sūrya-sahasrasya bhaved yugapad utthitā yadi bhāḥ sadṛśī syād bhāsas tasya mahātmanaḥ. Namaste. Hare Krishna.